Welcome to my channel. Today's video is an in-depth Dyson review, especially on Indian hair. Does the Airwrap work on curly hair? Does it work on Indian hair and in Indian heat? Make sure you watch this video all the way to the end because I've divided it into two parts. The first half is a demo where I'll be demonstrating how to get this look, and the second half is me reviewing the product and how it performs on curly Indian hair. I got my Airwrap in the limited edition blue blush version and had it personalized with my initials. I also wanted to mention that I have an Instagram page called Too Much Blush where I post beauty related material and demos frequently, so make sure you check it out. As you can see, I have very curly hair and I haven't even put any products in my hair yet. But now I want to brush this out. This is non-negotiable. Before using any hair tool, I need to make sure that I'm brushing my hair out. And for that, I'll need to use a brush like this. This is the wet brush. So it has these nylon bristles. I'd really suggest using a wet brush to do this step. I'm sure you can achieve any look out of a hot tool even if you don't use products, but they make all the difference in my experience at least. The first product I'm using is from René Furturer. It's a volumizing foam, basically. Give it a nice shake. Wow, that was loud. I'm taking around this much and just working this into my roots and my ends. The reason I like to use a hair mousse is because, see, it doesn't really do a lot. Don't expect it to make your hair and blowout last for ages. But what it does is it provides something for the hair to grip onto. If you have very fine hair or hair that really doesn't hold a shape, a mousse is just going to give it some grit, something to work with, some texture to kind of stick to. The next product I'm mentioning makes all the difference. This is something that I have to use before a blowout, and that's a styling or a blowout cream. The one that I use is from Olaplex. It's the number 6 Bond Smoother, but I've been using it for well over 3 years now and it has worked very well for me. But this product makes such a big difference in terms of what my hair looks like once I'm done with the blowout. I'm taking about this much for 1/2 of my head, and I spread it out onto my hands to make sure that I can run this through my hair as evenly as possible. This product helps manage my hair, just makes it look shiny, smooth. I don't know why, but in conjunction with a blowout, it works. It makes my hair feel very soft. I would never style my hair or at least blow dry my hair without a styling cream, and the Olaplex number 6 in particular. Oh, and I forgot to mention, don't use this in your roots. You're only supposed to use this towards the ends because this is a very heavy product, and I would also advise you not to use a lot. A small amount goes a long way, so don't use a lot of product in your hair because you want the hair to feel light. And the last product that I will be using is a heat protectant. I would say this is perhaps the most important step that you should never overlook, because even though I'm using the Dyson, which is supposed to use less heat as compared to other hot tools, I'm still using heat on my hair. So this is definitely a step that I would not skip. I'm using the Tresemmé Keratin Smooth Heat Protectant Spray. So I've brushed everything out. I always do this step to make sure that every single product in my hair has been distributed evenly. Sometimes I also keep a spray bottle with water because my hair sometimes dries out a little too quickly. So I'm starting with the first attachment, and that's the blow dry brush. And you want to make sure that the air vents are open and not locked. It's easy to attach this to the main component. All you've got to do is push down this lock and just fix this, secure this in place. Since my hair is slightly difficult to work with, my fan and heat settings are at the maximum. I should mention that I only blow dry, or at least rough dry, the top of my head or the roots. I never go to my ends because these are already very dry and the blow dryer needs to point downwards. Don't blow dry your hair like this. This is going to ruin everything for you. You want to smooth everything down, not do the opposite. But I'm not expecting this attachment alone to smooth out my hair. It's never going to do that. This is what my hair looks like once I've rough dried it. Yes, it does seem unmanageable, right? Yeah, that's just how it works. That's just how curly hair, wavy hair, just hair works. But fear not, I am going to take this. This is a very normal thing to happen. I'm going to take this and transform it into something that resembles a blow dry. I take most of my hair and I put it up. And I'm left with these two sections to work with. If you feel that there's still some moisture left in your roots and you weren't able to get your hair as dry as possible, use this attachment again. I'm brushing out these sections because I want them to be as smooth, detangled as possible. This is honestly my favorite attachment in the Dyson. This one's really perfect for me because I can use just this to get a curly blowout. Like, I don't even need the curling attachment, but I will be using that one in the video, don't worry. The reason why I prefer to use this one over paddle brush like attachments, they're not enough for my hair type. Maybe if you have very fine smooth hair like my mother does, these work very well on her. They create this lovely straight shiny look, but on me the paddle brush attachment does manage to get my hair to look very nice and smooth, but not the way this one does. So before I turn on the attachment and start using it, let me demonstrate the technique that I employ, because let's be honest, that's what matters. It's not how expensive a hair tool is, it's the technique. Really, it all just comes down to how you're using this tool. So what I do is I wrap my hair around the barrel. Okay, I wrap the section around the barrel, then I place the other hand on top to really secure the attachment, and I pull my hair down. Now, if you've brushed your hair correctly and if there are no knots, this should be a smooth process. I've done this once. I do this thrice. 1, 2, and 3. Now, if you noticed, I'm maintaining something called tension in my hair. What does that mean? So I could have done this, and that would achieve absolutely nothing. In fact, it would just make your hair look frizzier. Tension means making sure that your hair is wrapped and taut against the barrel. That's how you smooth it out. The last step is very important. Again, wrapping it around the barrel, pulling it downwards, and once you've reached this halfway point, just twist your brush. And do you notice I'm keeping it far away from the rest of my hair, and just twist it, twist it, twist it till you reach the end. I decided to do a voiceover as the air wrap does get loud. Anyway, I'm simply trying to smooth out my hair by placing the round brush under the section. This gives me more volume. I'm running the brush through my hair slowly, and when I think it's as smooth as can be, I use the brush to twist my hair into a curl. You don't have to run the brush through your hair thrice. That's not a rule. It's simply a technique that works for me. I'm not using the round brush to give me the full blowout look, and I'm only using it to smooth out my hair. I could use this brush to give my hair some shape and make it look like a normal blowout, but I wanted to use the curling barrel in this video to show how I can get even more movement in my hair and use as many attachments as possible in this video. That's the difference that I'm talking about. But I'm still not done. And I've wrapped the hair around the barrel and I'm twisting it downwards. I'm using the round brush to really focus on my roots and trying to get them to be as dry and smooth as possible. So this is my right side, and in here the movement is going to be slightly different. So what I do is I take a section and I just work on it once, twice, third time. What I'm doing is I'm taking the brush, placing it at the top, giving it a little, rotating it a little to make sure that the hair is in place, and then pulling it down. So I do this 3 times. I'm going to do the same thing, just bring it down and then rotate the brush. So now my hair is stuck. I will not panic. I'm going to hold my hair, gently pull it out. That's it, gently. At this point, I'm just trying to film this hair tutorial. I had grossly underestimated how bright the sun was going to be that day. I don't know if you can notice, but I'm genuinely melting at this point. But that's just the way hair tutorials go. And as I'm editing this video, I'm noticing the strange faces I'm making. I look quite angry, but don't worry, it's all good. Once I'm done with both sides, I'm going to take the brush and twist my entire section into a curl. I find that whenever I do this, whenever I take my entire section and twist it into a curl, the look manages to last a little longer. I don't know why or even how, but this step just seals my look and my curl in place. I'm bringing this down. I'm going to take my thumbs, work from the eyebrows, work from the eyebrows to the top. I'm trying to separate the bangs, or the curtain bangs or anything like that. Having small sections to work with just makes this process much more doable and enjoyable. The top section is always very important, so I make sure that I take my time to really work on each section. I'm taking very small sections. Before getting the Airwrap, I used the Revlon One Step Styler for over 2 years. It's a great machine and it is much more affordable. The only reason why I decided to upgrade was the heat damage that the Revlon brush caused. It would get very hot and I was experiencing a lot of breakage. I knew I would never stop blow drying my hair, and it was time to invest in something that would be kinder to my hair. However, the Revlon is perfect for anyone who doesn't use heat very often because it delivers great results for a much more affordable price. The Airwrap doesn't use extreme heat, and that's the reason why it's not as long lasting as other hot tools. That's a sacrifice I was willing to make because I wanted to look after my hair. It's very important to manage expectations with the Airwrap before buying it. The machine is essentially a blow dryer, not a curling iron, and it's definitely not a straightener, so it would be rather unfair to expect it to perform like one. I've lowered the heat and I'm trying to smooth out all the baby hairs near my temple. So I've finally reached the last section. I'm brushing everything out, and here I'm just trying to divide my curtain bangs from the rest of the hair and pinning them away. The same process begins in earnest. Since this is the last section and these are my face framing layers, I'm being extra careful and trying to smooth out every single kink, focusing really hard on the roots, making sure they're as dry and smooth as possible. I leave the curtain bangs for last, and what I'm doing is I'm wrapping the battle over the section first and pulling it down. Then I'm repeating it, but I'm placing the battle under the section, and I keep doing this process. I keep repeating it several times till I feel that my hair is smooth. Once I'm happy with my hair, I'll keep it wrapped around the battle and let it sit for around 10 seconds before twisting the battle and releasing my curtain bangs instead of pulling them. I could just let my hair stay like this. I do want to go one extra step and bring even more life and body to my hair, even more movement. Since I'm trying to review the Dyson, I want to use as many attachments as I possibly can in this video. And so I want to demonstrate how I use the curling barrel, and I use the bigger one. I'm just sectioning off of my hair, getting that out of the way. At this point, even though it doesn't look like it, I still have some moisture left in my hair. I can feel it. However, if by this time you feel like your hair is completely dried out, you have no moisture left in it, just spray some water only at the ends. Don't wet your hair. You just want the hair to have a little bit of moisture in it for the hair to be able to wrap around the barrel, because if you don't, you're effectively just frying your hair, because it is a blow drying tool. So you need your hair to have some dampness to it for the blow dry effect to work. I'm just pushing this down and attaching the barrel. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a section of my hair. Again, I'm not working with very big sections. Why? Because if you take too much hair, the barrel won't really pick it up. I hold a small section of hair in the middle and it gets wrapped around the barrel. Once that happens, I move the air wrap back and forth to secure the section in place and hold still for around 10 to 15 seconds depending on how much moisture is still left in my hair. Once I'm done with one side of my head, I want to change the airflow, so I turn or twist the knob on top because I want my hair to go away from my face. Also, I never use the cold shot when I use the curling barrel because I haven't noticed much of a difference in the way my hair turns out and how long my hairstyle lasts. So it ends up being an extra step that I tend to avoid. If you want to make your curls last longer, you'd be better off with pinning them and letting them sit for at least 10 minutes. That's a much more effective method, in my opinion. I suppose it's also worth mentioning that I'm not a professional hairstylist. I'm just an amateur posting my opinions on the internet. I hope you can see that when I'm done curling one section of hair, I don't turn off the Dyson and then let go of my hair. Instead, I simply pull the barrel down, and what ends up happening is that the section of hair gets twisted again. I'm doing this with the Dyson Airwrap turned on. This way, I'm not pulling my hair when it's hot and ruining the curl. Any heat style will last longer if you allow it to first cool and set in place before touching it. The Dyson Airwrap comes with two barrels, and I'm using the bigger size 40mm because I want slightly loose, effortless, bouncy curls for that traditional curly blowout look. At this point, the curls are quite defined. They do tend to fall out. I'm not going to brush it out, but I'm not done with products yet. I always go in with a hair oil, and I have this one from Gizu. I've had it for over 3 years now, and I've just managed to reach this point. It smells very nice. The packaging is beautiful, and it does what a finishing hair oil is supposed to do. It adds shine, but it doesn't weigh my hair down. I've taken a very small amount and just working it in to the very ends. Honestly, this is a very lightweight oil, so I can go all the way to the top, but I'm sticking to my ends. Right, so now we're on to the final review. I've managed to demonstrate what I can achieve with the Dyson. Whenever someone asks me, is the Dyson worth it or not? I think it's a tricky question, and it doesn't have a very straightforward answer. It's very expensive. For a hair tool, it is very expensive, and what's worth it to someone may not be worth it to someone else. I was watching a similar video, like a Dyson Airwrap review, and I don't remember who this person was, but she said that she uses the Dyson for every day. It's not something she uses for a special occasion, and that made so much sense to me. This is the perfect tool for someone who uses heat very regularly, if you're someone who actually does blow dry your hair very often. However, if you're someone who does not use heat styling, or you just do this once every 3 months or something like that, or every 2 months, it is not worth it. But the most important consideration and the most important factor when it comes to making this blowout last is the climate, the weather, the temperature, the humidity. I've used the Dyson in several cities in India, and I found that when the air is dry, when the temperature is very dry, this style lasts right till the next time I wash my hair, and it all depends on the humidity or the moisture in the air. I bought my Dyson in September last year, and September and October were the worst months to use the Dyson because nothing I did would make the curls or the look last. When I first bought it, I was quite alarmed because I thought that this was a very bad purchase, because I was in a coastal town, and I think September and October were the worst months to try the Dyson out. I would stick to using the Dyson from November to May. After May, I don't really like to use heat on my hair, because from May to October, Indian weather does not permit any style to really look incredible. So the weather, the climate, the humidity, the moisture level in the air, these are significant factors in determining whether or not your look will last. Right, so that was it for my Dyson Airwrap review. I hope it was helpful, and I would be very grateful if you'd consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video, and that it helps you figure out whether or not you want to get the Dyson for yourself. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you very soon in my next video.